Afternoon. Hello, everyone. Hope you can hear me.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello, Anisha. I will not attempt to pronounce your surname. So, hello, Anisha. Okay. My name, my name is Onimim Fifi Karibor. I am a chef. I run a restaurant and catering service called Fifi's Food House here in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. I'm also the co-founder of a travel tourism company, all-round enjoyment facilitating company, Menji Tours. So I'm a bit of a yo fun person, happy person, basically. Yeah, that's all about me. I like to eat and I like to create meals for people to be happy too. Yeah, so.
Superb. So if you cook anything vegetarian, I would love to come and eat at your restaurant.
No problem. No problem at all. We are here for you.
Thank you. I think we just left with Otto.
Hi, Anisha. Good afternoon, and good afternoon, everyone. Yes, my name is Otto Cannon, a member of the Global Shapers Hub in Port Harcourt. I'm an environmentalist. I run a recycling company where we recycle plastics, and I also run an environment NGO where we advocate for the embrace of the culture of recycling and also the embrace of the practice of tree planting to curb and mitigate the prevailing effect of climate change and global warming. That is autocannon in a nutshell.
That's wonderful.
Anisha, what about other members of your hub?
I just have messaged them back. We have a hub meeting, so I don't know whether they'll be joining us or not. But we'll. I just have messaged them. Just a second.
Okay.
We have somebody else is also joined right now. Harry. Harry, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. So I'm just joining. I hope I didn't miss much, though.
No. So would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Okay, my name is Katiana Harry. I am a part of the Port Harcourt Global Shapers, Rivers State, Nigeria.
Okay. Wonderful.
I am a business developer for creative businesses, bridging the gap between skill acquisition and entrepreneurship, giving them access to markets and allowing them to scale beyond the African continent to other global markets around the world, basically.
Wonderful. So happy to know you. There's somebody else who's also joined. It's Tony. Is it the way we're going to pronounce it?
Yeah, that's Tony.
Okay. Hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear us, Tony? Okay.
Okay, so I don't know.
Can
So
you hear me? Hi, my name is Tanya Briggs. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my name is Tanya Briggs, a member of the Port Harcourt Global Shapers.
So happy to have you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Okay, I think we are good to go now. I'll quickly introduce myself. I'm Anisha Junjunwala. So I'm a psychologist by profession. I've been working in the field of mental health since 2017. And I work particularly on enhancing emotional intelligence. And I do take awareness sessions on mental health where we really help people understand the ways in which they can take care of themselves and as well as their loved ones through self-care techniques and ways in which they can promote open conversations about mental health. So with those objectives, we started with Project Me, and that's why I'm here in front of you today to take you through Pop-Up Festival. I want you to all really get ready for the activities that we are going to be doing, because on order to me to let you understand us how Pop-up Festival needs to be conducted, it's very important that you equally participate in the entire session, so that when you understand the importance of each activity, you can take these activities further in your communities, in schools, colleges, and any organization where people are interested in talking about emotions and well-being. So with those objectives, I would like to start the session. In case if anybody has any question, feel free to unmute yourself at any point of time, and start talking and sharing your ideas with me while we do it. So are you all ready? Please show me a thumbs up. Go to the reaction button and okay. Yeah. Great. Okay. So the first thing that I want you to do is, before we really start ahead, I want you to go ahead and get a pen, paper, and colors. Any form of colors would work. So we are going to be creating a sheet like this. This is going to be called as the learning sheet, so that you can really take away the learnings from the session back to your home and really use these learnings, because your time is precious, my time is precious, and we are putting our precious times into this conversation. So it should really benefit all of us. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Is everybody ready? Pen, paper, colors.
Acha, we are ready.
Yeah, great. So let's start. So Pop-up Festival, we are going to be going on a roller coaster ride where we are going to be talking a lot about emotions. So the first thing that I like to mention is this is where we wish to create a safe space. And at any point of time, if you feel uncomfortable about anything, please feel free to reach out to me, speak to me. And even if you feel uncomfortable to a great extent, feel free to leave the meeting and we can have a conversation after this. So I'm really, really excited to take the session further. So a bit of why we are doing this, I'm sure you must have gone through the PPT, but I would just like to bring you to the concept of what Pop-up Festival is all about. So this is a festival which is celebrated in 200 and plus countries, where we share, we connect, and we try and build communities where we can talk openly about emotions, further helping us all grow emotional intelligence. And also at the same time, we try to make an attempt to take an action on SDGs. So these are fun-filled activities which gives us a chance to look within ourselves and realize the emotions that occur, and also understand in which situations do we feel in a certain way, so that we can be more self-aware and we can drive ourselves in much meaningful ways, because emotions drive our lives in numerous ways. So we need to know that before we really move ahead. And the entire event is in partnership with UNICEF, because they intend to celebrate World Children's Day through Pop-up festivals. So that's why UNICEF is partner to the entire Pop-up festival. So before we really go ahead, I want you to the entire session is going to be an activity-based session. So I want you to go to the chat box and write your answer to this question. And the question is, if given a chance, which emotion do you think would you like to give up? All the emotions that you experience, the feelings that you experience, if given a chance, which emotion or feeling would you like to give upon? Is it anger, anxiety, fear, disgust, guilt, disappointment, any emotion, or happiness, any emotion you feel that, okay, I would like to give upon this emotion? Go ahead and write your answer in the chat box. Okay, anger. Okay, anxiety. disgust, anxiety, waiting from answers, waiting for answers from others, joy. Akila wishes to give up joy. Okay, now as you've answered the question, I'm going to be showing you something. I'm going to read all of that is written on the next slide along with you. Okay, got it. So we are going to be reading the next slide, and I want you to reconsider your answer. Do you really wish to give upon an emotion? If yes, which one? So when we think of anxiety, anger, all those unpleasant emotions which really trouble us, should we really give upon them or not? Let's all reconsider these choices that we've made in the question today. Your anger, it's telling you where you feel powerless. Your anxiety, it's telling you that something in your life is off balance. Your fear, it's telling you what you care about. Your apathy, it's telling you where you have overextended and now you're completely feeling burnt out. Your feelings aren't random, they are messengers. And if you want to get anywhere, you need to be able to let them speak to you and tell you what you really want. If I would give up on fear, I would be walking on the edge of the terrace where I would have no fear of falling on the ground. If I would give up on feeling anxious or feeling anxiety, then in such situations I would never know what's going wrong, what's making me feel unpleasant. I would just maybe not experience anything. I would lay on the bed without having any thoughts, without understanding that there are some actions. So for example, if somebody wishes to work towards climate change, all of those things, that what will happen in the future makes them anxious and makes them responsible, and ask them, okay, there's something which is not going right, you need to get up and take action and work towards it. The issue which comes along when we are dealing with emotion is not that the emotions exist. The issue is that we do not know how to navigate through these unpleasant emotions. And that's why a lot of us feel that, hey, I don't want to feel anxious. I don't want to feel angry. I don't want to feel this, that. I just want to feel happy all the time. And that's how happiness becomes the goal. But the point is, you cannot at any point of time just get yourself away, resist these emotions. These emotions are there, they're chemically embedded in your minds, they are going to be released, there are in form of chemicals, and you are going to be interpreting each of these emotions that gets released. These feelings will be there within you. The point is, are you able to really understand the message that it intends to pass on to you and tell you that, hey, this is something that is going wrong, or this is something that you really care about. If I talk about disgust, this tells me clearly how much I like how much I dislike few things, and that's where it protects me. That's where it tells me, hey, stay away from these things, right? These people who somehow just do not create that space for you to nourish or to nurture yourself. So all of these emotions, they are telling us so much. But the point is, when we are not taught about emotions, we somehow don't know how to navigate through these unpleasant emotions or how to regulate these emotions which do not make us feel good. So that's where talking about emotions is very important, because when you become self-aware, when you know how you've been feeling, you can take the right action. You can understand as how to navigate through these emotions. Am I making sense to all of you?
Oh, yes, you are.
Yes, you are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would ask, I'm not saying uh, that please do not give up on, if this question comes again, I'm not saying that you should not give this answer. I'm saying reconsider. Do you really want to give up on emotions? Right? It's your choice, and eventually it's absolutely on you. But emotions are very important. They make us who we are. If we wouldn't have been able to feel things, I mean, it's something which would take away life from us, because then we are like senseless. We are not feeling anything. Because we can feel, we can make sense of the world, and we can take actions, and we can do things. We can find, we can create meanings in our lives. So we are going to be doing some activities, since we've learned that emotions are very good. They help us, and we want that these emotions that you've been feeling should help you. So we are going to be doing one simple exercise activity, which is color my heart. So we are going to be starting with this because it helps us acknowledge emotions, and that's very, very important. So this is how the color my heart looks like. So I want you to take a pen and a paper and draw a big heart on that paper. Draw a big heart on that paper. Now, once your heart is drawn, look back through the last 3 months that have gone by, 3 months that have just gone by, and identify how have you been feeling on in those 3 months, how those 3 months were like, how was your emotional experience, which were the dominant emotions you were experiencing in those 3 months. And then once you have reflected on those 3 months, you come back to the heart and you look at these words that are placed right front of you on the ppt, and see which of these words define the best in terms of the feelings, the most dominant feelings you had in those 3 months. Once you have picked up these emotions, the ones that you feel are most relevant, that you felt the most during these 3 months, pick a color that you would like to use for that emotion and color your heart. And that's how it's called as color my heart. So now, how much space should I give to that emotion depends upon how much you felt that emotion in those 3 months. So if I was mostly anxious because it was COVID, or because there were some other issues that were going in my life, I would probably give more space to anxious in my heart. Similarly, if you were excited, right, maybe you had a change in your job, and you were really excited to start this new journey. So that's how you choose to give a color to excited, and you color that part of your heart where you would like to place the excitement. So there, I have done this activity with more than 500 people now, and I've never found two same hearts. It's beautiful how people really put their heart out on a paper, defining how they've been feeling in the last 3 months. So I want you to take the same emotional energy that you've had in the past 3 months, where you've experienced different, pleasant, unpleasant, all sorts of emotions, put that on paper, defining how you really felt in those times. Are you all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do this. So please go ahead. I'm really looking forward to see how beautifully you all present your emotions on the hearts that you're making. In case if you do not have colors, it's absolutely fine. You can divide the heart into parts, and maybe you can use different patterns. This is something that I've learned from my participants. When they did not have hearts, they identified patterns that they would like to use for each of these emotions. would stop sharing so that I can see everybody's hearts. Yes. So would you like to share, any one of you is comfortable sharing with others, is how their 3 months went by? What exactly were you feeling in those 3 months?
Okay, so I don't know if it's clear.
It is pink, green, bit of orange, yellow, and blue.
Yeah.
So is anxious, confident, is green. I can't really see orange, yellow, and blue.
Let me use another camera. A second.
Yeah, excited. Blue is encouraged, and orange is orange. It's too
Consent.
tiny. I can. What?
Consent.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So superb. So what exactly do you get to understand from this activity, Andrew? What do you think?
Okay, so I feel it's like an emotional map that charts how, like, what particular emotions have taken most of your mental space, in the last 3 months. So the heart is in different quadrants, and the colors show what they meant to you, the vividness of the emotions. So confident was a positive emotion, that's why it's green for me. Anxious was a negative emotion, so that's why it was red. Then encouraged was like blue, like the sky, a blue sky, so it's something that's hopeful. Then excited, is yellow, is like a light bulb, like those little sparks that come once in a while, sparks of inspiration. Then concerned, was a bit, it's a mixture between red and yellow, excited and anxious, so it's orange, so there were bits of concern that came with the excitement too. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Andrew. It's so powerful when we are able to put forward how we've been feeling. It just makes us feel good in a way that we're able to express. So expression is very important, and that's how when we pick colors, it also makes us aware as okay, I think for me encouraged is blue. That's how you decided to choose blue color for encourage, or green for green is for
Green is for confident. Yeah.
confidence, right?
Yeah.
So that's how. So there are a lot of learnings that we can take from is one, acknowledging these emotions. At the same time, when we see other person's hearts, it just helps us know, okay, for me, blue was something else, and for the other person, blue can absolutely be a different thing, and they can make a different meaning of it. Anyone else who would like to show and share? Anyone who's comfortable with it?
I think Tony wants to share.
Yeah, please. You wish to share, Otto?
Okay, for me, I painted my hat in three colors.
Okay.
In three colors.
Hmm.
Yeah. The emotions that were dominant within the last 3 months have been that for anxiety, fear, and hope.
Your voice is not very clear.
Okay, can you hear me now?
It's cracking. Is it only for me, or Andrew? Can you hear him properly?
Yeah, I think I said anxiety, fear, and hope. Yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Okay. Is that what you said? Otto,
Hello?
I think there must be some connectivity issue. Yeah. Okay, so the objectives of this activity was to acknowledge emotions, and I'm sure when you must have participated, you would have been able to reflect on which were the dominant emotions. Now, there can be further versions of this activity. You can now ask the participants, if you're hosting this festival for someone else, you can ask the participant to draw another heart and now choose how you would like to spend the next 3 months and which emotions would you like to feel. So that's again where they're able to reflect as to what changes do they need to bring in their previous heart where they were reflecting and they were feeling certain emotions, and now how would they like to feel in the coming period. So that helps us transform the anxiety into excitement, maybe, or any other emotion which they feel is that they need to change or they need to work upon to really feel better. That is how they can take a call. So, yeah, okay. So this is one simple activity. Now we move on to another activity. So are you all excited?
Yeah.
Okay, just give me a second.
Yes, I wanted to share the results from the exercise, and
Yes,
the network, the internet was disturbing.
I can hear you now.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Okay, I said I painted mine into three emotions: anxiety, fear, and hope.
Mm.
And I have an experience I think I should share. So maybe you advise in case I find myself in that situation again. What's best to do?
Mm.
Can I go on?
Yes, please.
Okay. I entered the year with so much zest, so much zeal for business, for some scale up in my business. And as a result, I needed to get a certain machine for my company, and it cost so much. But I used all my savings, all my money to deposit for the fabrication of that machine. It's for recycling plastics. And the plan was that this machine will be fabricated and completed within a short time so we get into business and we can make money. And then the pandemic hit us. So the economy shut down, businesses shut down, the government shut down, the country was on lockdown. So the machine wasn't ready. We couldn't function in business. And the money I invested was tied down. So I didn't have any other money, even to pay my rent. I wasn't earning from business. All the savings I had invested in that machine fabrication. So I was anxious as to what would happen next. Will I be kicked out of my house? I didn't want to go back to my family house. I was scared of the unknown, fear of uncertainty. But I think I'm the most optimistic person alive. So in whatever situation I find myself, I'm always hopeful. But the hope was just like a tiny light at the end of the tunnel. I was just seeing like from afar. The dominant emotions were that of fear, anxiety, and I think I was tilting towards the direction of depression. For a moment, I understood exactly why people commit suicide. Yes, it was that severe, that serious, because I didn't have any money. My rent was out. I was getting calls from my landlord's lawyer. So that was the situation. So if I find myself in that kind of situation, what's best to do?
Thank you for being so brave, Otto, for sharing your personal story with all of us. I totally feel how difficult this period must have been. So, in such situations, being a shaper, if I have to suggest you, because you yourself are working in the field, is where if you are constantly having difficulties emotionally and you feel that you're just, because you already said that you're very optimistic, if you feel that it's not helping you in any way, then I would suggest seeking professional help is very, very important at that time, because how the entire situations developed for you and how it had a meaning for you, that needed to be understood in that moment, so that somebody can help you through that through that process of processing these unpleasant emotions which you were having, and how difficult those times. That's how people, when they experience stressors, and sometimes these can be absolutely where we don't know how to handle them, or they can be very difficult on us. In such situations, seeking professional help is very important, because I'm sure you must have tried some of the self-care ways in which you can take care of your mental state, but I'm sure that did not really work out well for you, and that's how you had those kind of thoughts and you were finding it very difficult. So it's always better if we seek professional help during these extreme tough times. Otherwise, when we are experiencing mild or moderate distress, self-care ways of talking to a friend, or identifying what are the stress busters for you, and using those things and involving and indulging in those things are really helpful. But extreme distress needs to be addressed through professional help, and I would suggest that reach out for help. It's absolutely fine. We are at times very, very vulnerable. There are days when I don't feel like getting up from the bed, and it's difficult, but then we do make an attempt to make ourselves feel better. And I'm sure you will be able to have the courage to deal with this situation in a better way, as in when you proceed ahead. Yes, Otto?
Oh yes, oh yes. That makes a lot of sense, and I'm through all of that. I'm through all of that already. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure you must have tried some self-care ways, and maybe that did not really help you, because sometimes you cannot. I mean, there's no fixed solution for all the mental health related issues. We sometimes really need professional help.
Yeah, then I noticed when I sleep and wake up in the morning, I feel very fresh and new. But immediately I wake up and I come alive, all of these things just hits me again. Boom, 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 left, right, and center. And I begin to feel tensed. I begin to feel anxious as to,
Mm.
and the more I try to make calls and connect the dots, the more worried I get. But that was during that period. I'm over it right now.
I think we should just clap for Otto for being so brave, for sharing his story right with all of us, for encouraging such open conversations and taking steps. I'm sure he must have taken steps. That's why he's feeling better right now. Okay, so let's go ahead of the session, and the next activity that we are going to be doing is, just a second, I need to start my PPT. Yeah, good to go. I want you to have the pen and paper ready in your hand, because this activity is going to be where we are going to really be keeping track of time, and I'm going to be giving you very less time to do this. So yeah, we have to really be on our feet to write what I'm saying. So there are questions that I'm going to put forward. This activity, I call this the power of numbers. So I'm going to be putting one question forward one question right in front of you. You have to use your pen and paper and start scribbling whatever comes into your mind. Start writing that. Okay, does that work? And I'm going to give only 1 minute for each of those questions for you. Just excuse me, I'll get my mobile for a stopwatch. Okay, so let's get ready. So the first question is, write down 10 things that you are grateful for. 10 things that you are grateful for. It can be anything. There can be people around you who just fill your life with love, with um with energy, with hope, and there can be so many other things which really helps you process your days, and can be, and that's how you can be grateful to all of them. You can be grateful for being able to speak, being able to stand, being able to speak. It can be anything. Go ahead and write. Okay, we move to the next question. We move to next question. Your time for the next question starts now. You have to write the name of 9 people. 9 people who are very important in your life. That really helps you feel, those people who will really help you feel better. Name of 9 people. Okay, time to move to the next question. The next question is, write down 8 things that you like about yourself. 8 things that you like about yourself. Time to move to the next question. Write down 7 colors of the rainbow. Name of the 7 colors of the rainbow. 7 colors of the rainbow. Okay, time to move to the next question. Write 6 things that you don't like. 6 things that you don't like. It can be anything. Time to move to the next question. Write down 5 things that you would like to do for yourself or for others. Any 5 things that you would like to do for your own self, or you would like to do it for others, any form of contribution in others' life. Go ahead and write that. Time to move to the next question. 4 things that you do to feel better on a rough day. 4 things that you do to feel better on a rough day. Time to move to the next question. 3 things that makes you anxious. 3 things that makes you anxious. that you fear the most. 2 things that you fear the most. Write down any 2 things that you feel you fear the most. Time to move to the next question. Write the name of the one person. Write the name of the one person whom you would like to forgive. Name of one person whom you would like to forgive. Time is up. Yes, so how was your experience writing all the answers to the questions?
Okay, so for me, it was quite, yeah. Yeah, you can go on, Harry. Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so for me, it was, I never, so most of the answers that came to me when I got some of the questions, I had to think about the answers in less than 1 minute, you know, because if I had given more time to think about it, I'm pretty sure I would have come up with different answers. Well, given the time limit, it made me just try to narrow down without any bias what the answers should be, you know. So it was more of like a revelation to how things really are, how things really are as it regards most of the answers to the questions that we were working. So that's it for me. So it's quite impactful and it was revelatory. You know, it was because if you had asked me to, can you hear me? If you
Yes.
had asked me to give these answers in like 5 minutes, I'm not sure I'm not sure I would be honest, you know, with the answers that I gave under a minute. You know, probably because I would have time to think about the add 1 or 2 biases and all of those stuff. So that's it.
I want to know, were you surprised by any of the answers that you wrote? Anything that you wrote which really surprised you?
If yes, I was surprised with some of the answers because when I see the question, I try not to think about the answers. You know, I just try to put down what comes to mind first. Yeah, because that is what the answer truly is. You know, so most of them are surprising, but not entirely because the things I feel. So it can't be too much of a surprise to me. Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing, Harry. Yes, Andrew, you can go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So the same thing that he said, it was quite introspective because it made you start to dig intimately into your thoughts, and you know, you had to hit some nerves, like some questions you usually overlook. Some emotions you look away from, some fears that you try to overshadow. So that you can have those confident, strong persona. So it was quite good to be able to be intimate for once with yourself and you know bring out these answers. So it was introspective, like an onion losing layers. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
Um, Anyone else?
Yes, amongst all Andrew and Harry has said, I think it was also that of gratitude and thankfulness for me. It made me realize that there are great things that have happened to me. There are great things I've experienced, things I'm thankful for, and then there are also great things about me. When you asked us to list things we like about ourselves, and I'm like, wow, there are actually things to be thankful for, as opposed to being worried about what's to come or what we expect to get. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyone else who would like to share? Okay, so I don't know whether you've noticed or not. We started with gratitude. We started with identifying important people, those who would make us feel good. We started moving then further to the things that we like about ourselves. So that's how, when we focus, there are so many things, like 10 things you're grateful for, 9 people who are important, 8 things that you like about yourself. So basically, trying to understand there are so many good things in life. And when I give you this pressure of time, you're able to really recall quickly whatever comes into your mind and write that down. The other thing why I do this activity is because every question has emotions in their backdrop. When we talk about gratitude, when we talk about connections with people, when we talk about connections with ourselves and self-love and knowing ourselves, they're all are related to our emotions. And that's how towards the end we move on to identifying that things which makes us feel anxious, there are things which create fears in us, and then there is this one person whom we would like to forgive, right, in order to really move ahead in life. And that's how these questions have been specifically asked, so that you can really look into yourself, look into the emotions that you experience, and how so many things happening in your life has so much to do with different emotions we experience. So I'm sure you must be able to notice few of the things that you could not think before, but now you were given this pressure to write in that 1 minute all the things that were being asked to you. So I hope this helps you know yourself better, because the moment you start discovering yourself, you will start knowing as to what helps you, what empowers you, what moves you, what takes you ahead, and what moves you back also. So the moment you know what moves you back, which disempowers you, the feelings which sometimes really makes life difficult for us, you start working on those things. And that's how we progress, we learn and grow. So thank you so much for participating in this activity. Now we move to the last activity for the day. Then we move to a few of the things that I would like to present to you about mental health, so that you understand some of the important aspects of mental health, so their understanding of mental health improves. So let's go ahead and do this activity called as power lines. So let me quickly share with you. I want you to take a pen and a paper because this activity too will require pen paper. I would have done this on Jamboard, but over the period of time, I have understood that it's real fun when we do it on paper and pen. So this activity is called as power lines. This can be done not just this way, but many other ways. So we are going to move from point A to point B and point C. So if you understand how human being functions, you need to know that we as human beings, we think, we feel, and then we act. So our actions are dependent on how we think and feel. In a similar way, all of these three components of how human being functions are dependent a lot on each other: thoughts, feelings, and actions. So what you're going to do is you're going to take this blank paper, or at least have some space where you can write, and you're going to draw this line, and you're going to write from -10 to +10. Go ahead, quickly write that. -10 to +10. On this line, draw a line, write values from -10 to +10. And where you write -10, on the top of it, write powerless. Write powerless. When you write +10, on above it, write powerful. Powerless to powerful. Now we are going to be reflecting on how we feel. So first we are going to start with the thoughts. So think of the thoughts that you often have during your routine, during your day-to-day activities. What are the thoughts that you often have about your own self? Which of those thoughts help you? Which of those thoughts disempower you? And if you have to take down that thought, where would you write that thought? Is it going to be extreme -10, or is it going to be -5? Is it going to be 1? Is it going to be 10? Where exactly? So go ahead and pick any of the 5 thoughts minimum. Think of what are the 5 thoughts that you have. For example, there are times when I feel that I'm not good enough. And that is how, if I look at this line, and if I have to pick a number where I would like to put this thought, I think I would put it at -8, not at -10, because that's how I feel about it. So I'm going to put it -8. So think of all those thoughts. There are thoughts that we have which makes us feel really good. What are those thoughts? What are the thoughts that disempower us? So where exactly would you like to place on this power line? Is it going to be towards the negatives, towards the positives, and to what extent will it be 10 or -10? How does this really make you feel? Write about the thoughts. So first we are going to be writing about the thoughts, then we move to the feelings. Think about it. How did those thoughts really make you feel? Where would you like to put it? Place it. Now we move on to feelings. So in feelings, we are going to be going ahead and defining which are the common feelings. The way you acknowledged feelings in Color My Heart, you have to pick those feelings and identify which of these feelings really make you feel powerful, and to what extent. If powerless, then to what extent. Where would you like to put all of those things on the entire power line? The more you bring these kind of things into your awareness, the more you'll be able to realize, do you have control or have you lost it? In case if you've lost it, how can you regain that power? Now we move on to the actions. Now look through your actions, the routine things that you do. Out of all those things that you've been doing, which of those things that makes you feel better, makes you feel powerless, or makes you feel somewhere they're very neutral, but you do them, you carry out those activities. So you have to again place all those things on the power line. So we talked about thoughts, we talked about how we often feel, and now we talk about the common patterns of our behavior, the way we behave. Are we are there times when you get irritated on others? Are there times when you just lay on the bed? So maybe lying on the bed and relaxing can be really helpful to us. At the same time, there are times when we do not want to do that. We keep on resisting that. We want to put ourselves into action. So maybe that may not be helping you. So it's the time when we reflect on all of the common actions that we inculcate in our lives. We take those actions. So does it really help us, or does that really impact us by making us feel powerless? And we'll wrap up this activity in a minute. Victoria, are you okay?
Victoria Chinda, are you okay?
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Are you tired?
Well, I had quite a lot to do this morning, so I'm a bit exhausted, but I'm fine.
Okay. Happy to know
She
you're
went
fine.
to protest. She went to protest this morning for a new Nigeria.
Otokala, you know what I'm about to. Otto. Oh, God.
Okay, let's reflect on the activity. How did it really make you feel? Were you able to be more self-aware? Is the power still in your hand, or is it's going out? How are you exactly feeling? Victoria, we would really like to hear from you. How this activity went for you? Were you able to really reflect on how your actions, thoughts, and feelings empower you, give you the power to really carry out your life? Or there are some things which sometimes takes away your power. So, how was your experience?
Let me share my own experience. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just start from the whole process of from the beginning. So for me, it's a real thorough self-awareness exercise for me. And I am able to identify, some of the things that puts me in a bad mood. I'm also able to identify, my best moments and all. But I think usually the concern for me is, how do I being able to maintain that momentum, like that empowering feeling for a very long time. Being able to now we're self-aware, you already know what it is, being in charge, being able to, run with it. You've identified the weakness, you've identified the strength. Yes, they said we should focus on our strength, but being able to actually hold it for a very long time, to achieve or do whatever it is you want to do, but just being in charge and being control. I think that's the challenge for me. Yes, um, for me, yes, I've gone through the exercise. I know and all. Yes, I am able to do some things, but how do I take that absolute? I'm sure you understand what I'm trying to say. Total power, where you're just in charge. You're consistent. Because I know there are a lot of factors that affect our feelings that we can't really control. Sometimes you may just plan out your day and all, and somebody just comes nowhere. You just spot it. Okay, this is it. It has come. I need to be in charge now. I need to just hold this. It's me. So I think that's just the line for me. That's the point for me where I am. Basically.
Thank you so much for sharing. I will be answering. The next slide would answer your question that you have in mind right now. So I'll definitely answer that.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Victoria.
you.
Anyone else would like to share?
Okay. Yeah. So for me, it was the last exercise was I think the most difficult for me because I had so much to write and I had like I kept thinking and thinking, of the scale, like assessing what each thought, feeling, and action, like how it impacted me, and it was quite insightful too. It was quite insightful. Like I'm still looking through the answers as we speak. Because it reveals so much. So it's quite insightful. Yeah, and yeah, even though I deny some of the trigger points and find it sometimes hard to see that sometimes I feel powerless, it's still good to at least write it on paper and hopefully come back to this, some days when you're feeling down. Yeah, understand better.
Thank you so much for sharing, Andrew. I think what you're saying is that there are times when we do not know how to put things on the paper, but we are aware of a lot of things. And when we make this power line, it's so powerful in a way that you are given this power to choose, and you choose. I don't know how many of you really experienced when I've done this activity. I just give a thought, where would I really like to place There are times when I would place a thought on -6. There are times when these thoughts I would like to place around +5 or +6, because I know that that thought, even though it's not, it's a negative thought, I know that that thought really made me take action. Those thoughts brought more thoughts in me, made me more curious, and really put me into action. And when I say I'm not good enough, that at times does help me, because I question myself. Why am I saying this to me, to myself? Where do I feel that I lack, and where can I really put an effort to make myself good enough what I have in my mind? So it's yes, it's insightful. A lot of times, I would suggest that sit and sometimes do these exercise for your own self or self-awareness, and I'm sure it'll help. Moving on, I would like to present, if anyone, I mean, I don't know whether anyone else is also interested in sharing. So you can unmute yourself and speak till the time I start my presentation. Okay, just a second. So I'm going to be presenting you one slide which will explain a lot to you about mental health, and will definitely answer Victoria's question when she says that she wants to be in charge. She wants things to be stable, and she wants to acquire that momentum where she's able to function. It's very important for all of us to understand what is mental health. So when we talk about mental health, it is about being able to function productively, being able to cope with stress, being able to really function well. When we talk about not functioning well, or we say that things are not going well, we talk about that there is an impairment in our day-to-day activities. There is an impairment in the functioning. So usually I'm able to function really well, but on days there is an impairment where I don't even feel like getting up from the bed, doing any of the action, talking to anyone. And even if I'm talking, I'm not talking to them in the most nicest way I would talk to. So we need to understand that mental health, when we talk about, is a state, and that state exists on a continuum. So that's where you can see it's green, yellow, orange, and red. So when we talk about at an optimum level of mental health, at a stable, I'm sure you can recall days when you were so productive and you had that energy to carry out the entire day with so much of energy that you felt that, wow, today was a wonderful day. I could do this, that, etc., etc., and so many things together. And you felt really good about yourself. That's where you're operating at this level. But we all move back and forth on this continuum. Nobody remains absolutely at the optimum level all the time. We move back and forth, because it all depends upon mental health, depends upon a lot of factors. It depends upon how, as a person, physically fit we are. It depends upon how our environment shapes us, molds us, and how it throws stressors on us. It depends upon how, what kind of a social support do we receive from other people so that we can function to the best. So our mental health is not entirely dependent upon ourselves. It's not entirely dependent upon how much control do we feel that we have on ourselves, but it depends upon other factors which are beyond our control. Stressors, right? There are things, pandemic happened, it was beyond our control, we could not do anything about it, right? There are things which happen with our family members, and things happen with ourselves which are beyond our control. And in such situations, the possibility of we moving from a green state to a yellow state is absolutely okay. It's fine. And that's where, when we are still where when you are on the green and the yellow part of the spectrum, you can use social support, you can use self-care to make yourself feel better. So you're feeling low, you switch on a TV and you start watching your favorite documentary, favorite movie, and you start feeling better. By the end of the movie, you're like, okay, I can go ahead, eat food, and then sleep. And then you go on to carry out your day normally without even knowing that you had a difficult time the last day. So that's how when you're on green and on red, the social support, when you're reacting, right, your family members give you support. They come and sit with you and ask you how you've been feeling. Is everything okay? And then a conversation with them and understanding what's the problem and coming up with a solution helps you a lot. So we all keep moving back and forth. The problem comes in when we talk about when we're not able to. So, for example, I move to yellow and I do not get enough social support, or the self care that I've been using is not really helping me. Then I move to the orange part, which is injured. And then, if that also where I do not get enough support, or when I'm not able to help myself, I move to a point where I am diagnosed with a mental illness. So, mental health is not a stable state. It's a dynamic state. It's a dynamic thing, which where we keep on moving on this spectrum. And there are days when we are at the yellow part. There are days when we are on the green part, and there are times when we move to the orange part as well. So till the time you are feeling healthy, so sorry, till the time you are feeling healthy or you are also at a reacting state, you can help yourself on your own. You can seek support from the environment around you and you can feel better. But the problem comes in when you start experiencing from a mild distress level, you start experiencing moderate distress. And that moderate distress, when not taken care of or not intervened or not supported through any kind of professional help, that's where you move to the red part. And that's how we all sometimes experience mental health issues. I've personally, in my life, while I was growing up, in my adolescence, I had very bad phases where I felt that I needed professional help, but because of the kind of stigma that the society holds, I could not really get through the right help. And I was at a point where I absolutely, all that I had is I wanted to attempt suicide, and I did do that 3 times. But yes, I could help myself over the period of time, and I felt that I can now, when even if I fluctuate, when I'm moving from a green part to a yellow part, I'm able to really help myself move from the yellow to green again. And even if I reach out to orange, I know that I can provide myself support, because that's how we've been building our communities. So it's very important for us to understand that you cannot always be at optimum level. You will experience stress, and those stressors would move you to yellow parts as well. But you can keep moving back and forth and keep making efforts to make yourself feel better. Victoria, did I answer your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes, Victoria.
Okay, I said yes, you did.
Yeah. So
So
that
okay, so basically what you've just said is these things will happen, like we're not totally in control of them, but how we respond to them is the most important thing. So we should find like our what's it called? When the triggers more like come, we should find a way of distracting ourselves, fighting it. Yeah, but it's okay to actually accept those feelings. It's okay to identify them and know them. But we should find more creative ways to respond to them.
right. Do not resist emotions. I think that's something that I've learned over the period of time, and that is when I'm able to reflect as to why am I feeling that ways, and then really work upon to resolve that issue which made me feel that way. So if we keep on resisting, our entire energy goes into resisting. Instead of resisting, we accept the emotions even if they're unpleasant, and we make an attempt to really feel better in those times where things are not happening as the way we wanted them to happen, or things are not going in the way that we were expecting them to be. So any doubts on the same? Does anyone have any questions?
Not really though, but just an observation. So on the spectrum from green to red, I could see that when you're still in the green and yellow, self-care and social support like ways by which you could heal yourself so that you don't slide off to the other spectrum. So I'd like to know more like about the self-care and social support. Like what does this consist of? You know, like
Thank you, Andy, for asking this question. So self-care are the hacks. So we all have coping mechanism. Coping mechanism basically which helps us deal with those stressors and overcome those stressors by ways in which we feel better. So our coping mechanism needs to be developed. For example, emotional regulation. So I'm experiencing anger, so most of the time, people went out, they speak, but that also doesn't really help because while venting out, it might hurt other people or things may not just go the way we want them to. So emotional regulation is identifying these emotions and understanding why you've been feeling that. So that is one. The other self care could be anything which is therapeutic for you, which helps you make which makes you feel better about yourself. So listening to music is therapeutic for a lot of people. Art is therapeutic for a lot of people. I'm sure you must be able to relate. Writing is very therapeutic for some people, right? When you just put down things and you want to write your thoughts out, you want to express yourself as much as possible. Dance is therapeutic. Having coffee and watching the sunset is therapeutic. Talking to a friend can be therapeutic. Sharing attending workshops where you get to learn can be therapeutic because you feel empowered when you learn and grow. So besides that, for example, somebody who's experiencing a lot of anxiety, so one of the techniques which I noticed, which I have applied and I felt better is I decide that okay, I'm going to give myself only 10 minutes to feel anxious, and that is where my time for feeling anxious will get over, and beyond that I'm not going to think about it, or maybe write down the problems. And if I'm not able to make any decision which is making me feel anxious, it can be where I write down the positive points and the negative points, and then maybe talk to somebody saying that hey, these are the positive points, these are the negative points, what do you think? So solving the problem is something which can help us deal with the stressors, because that's where you tend to overcome the stress. So the stress makes you feel better is therapeutic and is all about self-care. So it can be anything. It's your own hack that you have to develop. You have to identify, okay, this is something which works well for me. There are no specific guidelines that this will work for this. You keep trying. Over the period of time, you will know. For example, for me, I think meeting new people, learning from them, learning from their experiences is therapeutic. The moment I'm into a session, I'm talking to people, I just forget what was stressing me out just a minute back when I started the session. So work can be therapeutic for a lot of people. So, but you do it with that intention that it's helping you, not that you want to keep yourself away from the stress, and that's why you want to put yourself. So it's not done with the idea of distracting yourself. It's done with an idea of making yourself feel better. So even if you want to sit and watch a movie, right, do not feel guilty about not utilizing your time well. Because if that's where, because if that's the issue, then in such situations you're still building upon unpleasant feelings within you. So when you sit and when you watch TV, you should be like, okay, this is my time, me time, and I can choose, even if it's like watching the most irrelevant movie which has no meaning, it's just making me laugh, that's it, no learning from the movie, right? So even if that's the case, that's absolutely fine. Maybe talking to kids, it can be therapeutic for a lot of people. So these self-care techniques are commonly used. Okay, and we cannot forget meditation, yoga, eating good food, healthy food, eating ice cream. Sometimes you just want to eat ice cream and you want to constantly go on to eat that. So that can also be a good way of taking care of yourself. Do not, there are a lot of people who feel guilty about it. Do not feel guilty about it. Do because that makes you feel better. Do because that's the way you want to show love to yourself. So all those things would be there when we talk about self-care. So social support, when we talk about it, can be having people who empower you. So when you're feeling low and you can find out one person whom you can reach out to, that's where you have enough social support. So building those communities where reaching out to help is easy, talking about your emotions is easy, all of that helps us get seek social support from our family members, our friends, and overall communities. In fact, you all as shapers, right, the time when you feel that you can reach out to each other and speak how you've been feeling, even if the project that you've taken has been overwhelming, and you don't know because everything is not a way simple. So all those things will move you again. So if you are on the yellow side, it will move you to green. If you are on the green side, it will help you maintain yourself on the green side. But if these things are not done, then you would gradually find yourself moving to orange and then moving to the red one. So that's how this continuum works. Am I able to answer your question, Andrew?
Yeah, perfectly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello to that.
So I asked you to write 4 things that you do to feel yourself, to make yourself feel better on a rough day. I hope you remember that while we did the power of numbers.
Yeah.
Yeah, what did you write, Andrew?
Listening to music, writing, sleeping sometimes help, just shutting down and starting up again. Then sometimes keeping your mind occupied, like playing games, like strategy games and all that, or maybe a fantasy game, taking your mind off. Yeah.
That's self-care for you. You've
Yeah.
already written your answers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's all for me. Yeah.
Anything else?
Okay, for me, visiting family too helps, my nieces and my nephews, just sitting down with them. It helps you because they are still quite young or below 10. So sitting down with them and talking to them makes you remember how simple life is. Like most of the pressures are just based on our ambitions, based on our anxieties. But if you sit down, like in Jungle Book, there was a song, Bare Necessities. If you sit down and you think of just bare necessities, you realize that you're quite blessed, but it's just your anxiety that makes you feel stressed. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Hey, Andrew, can you tell me what exactly after this session are you all planning to reach out to some other places to host the pop-up festival? What exactly are you thinking, or what exactly do you have in mind so that I can guide you accordingly?
Yeah, so far we have in contact with two homes. One is the remand home for the remand home. Then another one for street kids. So Right now, that's the target area, because in the remand home, for example, there was, in our last project, that was on the first project where we touched a bit on the emotional side and the medical side, and we realized that a lot of the children had anxieties and pressures and weighing them down. And the one with the street kids, like the home for the street kids, is a new partnership. So we are still trying to expand and see how we can bring more value. So living on the streets, comes with its anxieties. I'm sure like all my fears are times two, in their mind. They're still young, they're still children. So helping them to be in touch with their emotions, because for example, in our society, in our culture, our customs, there's this masculinity, this machismo that where you cannot really be vulnerable, talk about your emotions, because it even affected me in answering some questions. I was not like, no, I can't be powerless, So ensuring that from a young age they can be able to be introspective, they can be in touch with their emotions, will ensure that as they develop, they are more in control of their emotions, and when they are more in control of their emotions, like, because a lot of the issues that come from remand from children, like a lot of issues that come from youths come from deep-seated emotional or psychological issues, where they lash out, become delinquent. So if we could start expose them to these resources from an early age and at this train, I'm sure we can bring a more productive and more emotionally aware individuals, into society. So,
Okay, so now I understand you taking this forward. So I'll guide you accordingly. So we've done 2, 3 activities, and after those activities, you've understood as how these activities can still be done in a fun way virtually. So there are definitely difficulties that we face when we are doing it virtually, but there are ways in which we can, make it fun and engaging in the virtual setup also. So I will just take last 5 minutes to give you few of the tips as to how you can go ahead. So the objective we need to understand is, one, we want people to acknowledge and express emotions. We want people to be conscious of what triggers different emotions. Now this will all be different with which age group are you dealing with. So needs to be done in a very subtle way if you are dealing with young kids, and then to find meaningful ways of expressing different emotions. And always we need to remember that we are intending to create this safe space to share and connect with people, and that's how we are going to take this message ahead also. So what are we supposed to do when we are about to go ahead and take this step to host a virtual pop-up festival? We need to first identify the audience, the age group, make necessary arrangements like we did, like I kept on informing you, or this is all that we need to do. And then ask the participants what exactly would you need from them when they're participating with you. Choose the activities. I'm going to show you a folder which I'm going to share with you after this event. So if the audience is large, we need to have facilitators to assist people in the breakout rooms. Host the festival, celebrate with the participants. I will also share the feedback forms with you, which you can share with the participants. So we have all the records of how people really got impacted through these activities. And then finally, we take pictures, we click images, and we share them on social media to inspire other people to also participate and increase the engagement. So this will apply to your own community when you do it there. It will be there when we further share here that we've been doing these kind of activities in other places, so that other people can also get encouraged to participate with us. Few of the things that we need to do is have a warm up activity in the start. It can be moving to people into breakout rooms and maybe giving them a question. Okay, so as to go ahead and discuss one of the funniest incident that you had in the last 1 year. So that's how which becomes a warm up and icebreaker. We need to keep the energy really high and excitement in the entire process. There are tools that can be used. I though did not use it. I have over the period of time found that paper really work well when people are participating. So it can be, one could be a quiz on Survey Monkey. So if you want a quiz on mental health, I already have a ready quiz. You can maybe use the same quiz and use the same while you are, so all that you need to do is share the quiz with the participants. They can quickly answer, and then you can get to know how much do they know about mental health, so that you can guide them accordingly. Sticky notes on Jamboards, which I showed you. Google Docs, I'm sure you must have experience using Google Docs in the ACM. Then using breakout rooms for intimate conversations, and engagement strategy needs to be in place depending upon whom are you targeting. Further, you need to assure that the space remains really, really safe, and you can share your own personal stories of distress, right? And especially when you're talking to kids, they would be able to relate to you when you share your own story of how you went through the distress and how you um, powerfully came out of it with the efforts that you made towards your own self care. Read and explain the instructions clearly. So this is one of the image of the pop-up festival that we had last year, which was very, very fun. So all these kids participated. Um, I would quickly share the last folder with you, which I'm going to be sharing with you. Uh, can you see? So these are four folders. So these are activities. For example, this is the activity. It has all the material. So anyone who's planning to take this forward can go ahead and use any of these activities. So these activities to be done only with people above 13. Further, we have activities for any age, which is almost more than 15. So these activities can be done. You can check these activities. All of these activities have an image also, which helps us understand. So sorry, which helps us understand as to what the activity would look like, giving us an idea. There is an instruction. This is an instruction in English. So this is how we can go about it. Then it has one folder below 13. So there is a simple activity, build your community. So this can be done, plus any age group activity can be done for all the ages.
Yeah.
And then these are some of these items that are available, which can be used for creating posters and all. So I would share, this is there on my Google Drive. I would share this with you so that you can get access to it. You can start sending invitation if you wish to go ahead and hold it as an open event, or even if you want to share on social media about you've been doing this festival, so you can do this. And I'm sure you can reach out to schools also, because it's an event which is in partnership with UNICEF. So if the schools are interested, they would understand the importance of this. And we have on the 20th of October, World Children's Day. So on the occasion of the same, you can start reaching out to school. One of you can be the facilitator and go ahead and do this activity. I'm sure it's going to be really fun for the students who are also equally experiencing distress like we are. So this is from my end, Andrew. If you all have any questions at any point of time, if you wish to get into a call with me at any point of time, my number is available. We can have a WhatsApp call, which is like very convenient, and I can guide you with every activity if you feel that you would like to understand any of the activities more, because that's the activity that you would like to take forward. You can do that. There are activities on climate action also. So when you check the folders, you will be able to find activities on climate change. So the power line activity can be done for climate change also. So there are thoughts that are written, there are feelings that are written, there are actions that are written, and the students are asked to place thoughts, feelings, and actions on those power lines. So they would choose one of the thoughts, they would choose one of the feelings, and then they would choose one of the actions. So I'm sure you'll be able to comfortably do these activities. Are very simple and can be done by anyone. So let me know in case if you need any kind of support and help from my end.
Okay. Yeah, that would be very helpful. And yeah, we'd like to keep in touch too and expand the partnership because I'm also thinking from the welfare angle too. For our hub, we like, for example, in this part of the world, professional mental health care is not really available. It's something rare. Like, I told you about our customs here. Like, being vulnerable is frowned upon. So we lack safe spaces. Yeah. So I was also trying to propose something like a partnership in which maybe our hub members, like when we are all ready, because with the protest today, a lot of people were not available, So if we could, as a fuller house, like go through maybe the session we had today or something deeper and more professional, and maybe we break out rooms, because I feel a lot of people held back today because maybe they weren't comfortable sharing, the depth of their emotions to everyone else. So if we could have more sessions like this, maybe from time to time with the hub, it would be really helpful, Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much for.
Please
Can
go
I
ahead.
continue?
Yes.
Thank you very much for the session today. It was very insightful. It was very, very productive. So we look forward to more of this, sessions. Unfortunately, mental health is something that, sometimes people think is when you're sick or when you're beaten, physically, that's when they think that you're not okay. But really, mental health is really deep and it's something that can really affect you, badly if it's not taken care of. So thank you very, very much for this platform, and we look forward to having more of these conversations. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Victoria. Thank you, everyone. Can we have a group photograph together?
Okay.
Yeah, if others can switch on their videos if possible.
Okay. Photo.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Anisha. And we hope to regularize these and have these kinds of conversations more often.
Okay, smile, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank
I
you.
share the image also with you, and I'm very happy to be with you, and would be really happy to help you in all ways.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to have you. And thanks for taking your time to come out. I know it's I think it's 8 p.m. Yeah, where you're up. Yeah, and you're
Bye.
yeah. So thank you.
Victoria Chinda.
I was just waiting for you to call my
Can you
name.
imagine
Oh.
that
Otto
Tony
Kano.
coming on? Since they were
Take your
doing
video
meeting,
now. Take your screenshot.
since they were doing meeting, you will not come
Take
on.
your
We,
Happy birthday, Tony.
smiling.
oh,
So
it's
you
Tanya's
send
birthday.
my pictures, oh.
Tweet
So you
now.
send my pictures now,
Cannot take
please.
a screenshot. Now, I'm doing it
Yes,
now. Babe, no
So you
vex.
please now.
Vicky, where's the picture now?
I'll
Otto, I've
send it.
not seen that one. Oh, wait first. So let me hustle this one from Toyin's hand first.
Really?
Don't worry, you get it.
I want to
Toyin,
post
please,
it
I'm begging
today.
you.
I'll send it now.
Hey,
I
you get
thought
it
I sent
today.
it to you. I sent all the pictures to people and I thought I'd give me yours, Joe. No vex. You know, so now me they share food for protest. Now see me they take live video. I'm the one still trying to. So and I have to make sure everything every sponsor gives me is recorded and a
Okay.
video is taken so that I like give feedback back to them. Like today now, the meat pies people brought and the water, they just started sharing it without me knowing. And I needed to take a video to send back to the client because I want to make sure everything everybody sponsors they see
It's
it. So I don't want
recorded.
stories about credibility or
I
yes.
understand.
So I'll send in no
So,
vex.
so
I'll do
Tony, I was going to suggest something. You know, Wednesday is oil meal market. So
yes.
it would be so much chaotic if we do that on a Wednesday. So we can do Tuesday. Because the people that want to do Monday and Tuesday, they don't even have a plan. They don't even have venues.
Let's do Tuesday. I'm just talking to a sponsor now. She's ready to give us 50,000 bottles of water and 50,000 shops.
Is it protest?
Yeah, I don't know. Protest, yeah.
They want to
another one on Tuesday.
Big one will block the whole East-West Road.
What the East-West Road?
Hey,
Yeah.
so allow.
See, yesterday they block Lagos Ibadan Road. Abuja boys block Airport Road. We were just here joking. Like it's only them that have the future. You don't have this future we are fighting for.
Sir, where did you? Don't mind us to interview. Me and Victoria, who were walking up and down, you were not. Come on, go away. Come on, go away.
I
was there now.
Sir, all the interview, Victoria, all the interview was there. All the interviews. But ask him if he worked from Garrison to Government House. Otto, before God and man, answer.
Otto, did you work?
Before me, that my leg is killing me. Before
Otto, you were looking when I saw you.